As the first humans to ever venture out this far into the frontier.
Too fast! Sensitive point damage.
Get out!
I thought we were both goners.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. I'm Operation DX, and welcome to the third episode of my Planet Explorers version 0.72 Let's Play.
Need a shot? Have at it as promised. What do you want? What the? Did the shock regress your mind? Next time you forget your favorite doctor's name, I'm gonna smack you on the head. It's me, Alan Carter. What do you want? Chen and Sly came down here with me. They're out looking for all the survivors, though. Should be back here shortly. Huh? I saw several other lifeboats on radar when we were gliding down. They're mostly to the west of here. Other than you folks, we haven't seen anyone else in person. Need a shot?
Do I look like a zoologist to you? If we only had that Copperfield girl around. But still, I'm kind of worried that we might not make it past the next sunset. With that in mind, I've been working on a chemical boost that'll get us out of immediate danger if we have a close shave. But still, I need some materials to make that happen. Alright, go get the materials and I'll show you how to make a revival shot.
Did you get hurt or something? You again?
Okay, so now we are up to speed. In the previous episode, we found the second lifeboat, which had a doctor and a few other crewmen aboard. The good doctor helped me rescue Grady and bring her over to this camp where it seems like we have some sort of rejuvenating bed. So now we are off to do this quest here to make a revival shot. Now, this is going to help us out if we die. So as long as we have these revival shots on us, we will be able to get right back up after a set amount of time in combat and continue on. If you don't have them, you're pretty much going to end up like loading into the previous autosave, I think, because technically I think you're actually dead. So these revival shots are kind of like a second chance or a 23rd chance if you have 23 of them on you. It's probably not a bad idea to have these things on you because they will save you a lot of heartache. There's really no good reason to not have these revival shots on you because they require the same basic materials that you get in the beginning of the game to craft, say, some of the earlier healing stuff. So it is definitely a good idea, unless you're a really hardcore character that if you die, you're dead and you have to load from a previous save or whatever. I personally like to have a pack of like 20 or 30 of these things on me because they're just really easy to make. And also, in this game, you will die. Some of the creatures are very, very tough. Even with top-tier armor, you have to kite them, and you have to like try to stay away from them. You shoot at range and that sort of stuff. So, it's not too hard to like get overwhelmed and killed by some of the creatures, especially some of the boss-type creatures in this game. If they get the upper hand on you and you don't find a way to like stay away from their attacks, maybe 2 or 3 attacks and you are down. So unless you're constantly healing yourself, you're going to want to have these revival shots on you. Another basic thing to these, or what this quest is giving us, is the ability to make plastic. Plastic is made from resin that you get from trees, and it is a core thing that you need in a lot of stuff that you craft in this game. So it's important to build up a good supply of resin. A very great place to get resin is you can see those arching tree kind of structures. They take a long time to cut down with the early tools, but in the beginning it's kind of well worth it as they give you just a ton of resin. If you just go around and cut down those trees, even though it does take quite a long time, it gives you the most wood and resin and materials for the time spent there. So it's a good idea to spend some time doing that. We're not going to get crazy and cut like a ton of those down in the beginning just because we're still working with early tools. Although we will be checking the doctor's shop, and I know that in the doctor's shop he has a bunch of very useful things, including the armor that I was talking about in the second episode. The Doctor also has a really good utility piece that we can stick in our gear slot. It's basically like a headlight kind of thing, and it's very good for seeing at night, one thing, which we won't be doing a lot during this Let's Play, but also for mining caves and that kind of stuff, because you have to mine down to get different minerals, and the mining system in Planet Explorers is pretty much the best I've seen of any of these kind of games. We'll see some of that stuff a little bit later, but yeah, it does get dark down there and we need a source of light. Good enough. Here are the scripts for the revival shot. Still, with the way you're running around the place, you probably won't see the next sunrise, even with the shot.
Yeah.
Now that I've created the revival shot, I want you to go out and see if it actually works, you know? Application theory and all, haha. You want to try it out? It's simple. Just go get yourself beat up by some wild beast and use it while you're down. What? I'm not doing that. Come on, do it in the name of science, ha ha ha.
Huh?
Alright, so maybe I went a little fast on that one, a little ridiculous. I'm kind of starting to sound like some kind of speed racer skit or something. But anyways, we're checking out the Doctor's shop here, and we just picked up that piece of gear I was talking about that gives us a light for our head so we can see in caves and stuff. And then it looks like he has a stone sword, and he's got the scripts for the next set of tools, the stone tools. So we're going to go ahead and buy all the scripts for those. It's probably better to actually buy the scripts than actually buy the tools, because he does sell the tools, because it's easier to just make them, and we're going to need to repair them later on anyways, and it's actually cheaper to repair the tools than actually craft a new one or buy a new one, so we're going to do that. Now, some things we are not going to buy, like the scripts for armor pieces, and if you'll notice, there are male and female armor sets. We can actually craft sets for a companion character for our group, but I'm actually going to play this mostly solo for a large portion of the way through. I may add a person to our group later on. We actually can get a person in our group right now, and here's that set of armor I was talking about in the previous episode, which I think is awesome. So, of course, we had to put that on immediately, and we're just going to really quickly learn all of the scripts that we just bought off the Doctor. Sometimes you get these in quests, and sometimes you just have to purchase them through the NPC shop. Now, sometimes you'll get them at a point where it'd be nice if I would have had them then, kind of like in the earlier episode when I did the whole sword thing. So, if you do, or if I do get some scripts, after doing a mission that I've already paid for, I'll just sell them back to the shop, and then it'll give us a little surplus of meat. Even though we won't get the full value back, at least we'll get something back for it. Another thing that we have to do during this game is we have to eat or sleep, but it takes a long time to replenish your stamina if you just sleep, and it's way more beneficial to eat. Also, if your hunger or stamina is too low, your ability to attack things actually diminish, and your health diminishes as well. So if we take a quick look at the lower right-hand screen, we can see a picture of our guy, along with two empty pictures on the right side of him, and those are where our NPC companions can go. And then we have a green bar, which is indicating our health. The red bar is indicating our stamina, and the blue bar is actually indicating our oxygen or breathing. So if we go underwater, that blue one will diminish. We probably won't see that all that often. Now that we've loaded our replicator up with some stone tools and stone weapons, we now, of course, need some stone. So we're going off to the side here on some of these mushroom mountains and going to try to mine some stone. As I expressed before, we are using a wooden pickaxe, and as you can see, every swing or every block that I break off the side of this, I'm getting about 2 stone. If this was a higher tier pickaxe, I would actually getting more materials per swing, and same thing goes with the other tools. That's why it's good to kind of hold off on the mining until you get some of the better tools. That way, when we get to the point where we're going to start doing some base building, or we need materials to craft specific items that we need throughout our quest, we won't be wasting a ton of time mining them when it could actually take a lot shorter period of time. So that's another way that I'm going to streamline this Let's Play. Now that I've equipped my stone pickaxe, you'll notice that instead of 2 pieces of stuff coming off this mountain, we're getting 3 pieces. So what's kind of interesting is, as you mine, you actually could get, like, say, 1 marble and 2 stone, or you can get, like, 1 copper, 1 iron, and, like, 1 stone kind of thing. It's kind of cool. I really definitely like the mining system. As you can see, as I'm getting close to the mountain here, it kind of got dark all around me. So there is kind of like an awkward system in this game that kind of artificially lowers the light all around you, and it's not really using the ambient light from the world. I think that's something that's going to be worked on during this alpha, but it is kind of a little odd or awkward, as I'm still outside. There still is a light around me, but because I'm like in this little cubby hole inside of the mountain, all the light around me kind of dimmed down. I can, of course, mitigate this not only with that piece of gear, the helmet light. I can also place down torches, and eventually I can place down lights and stuff inside, which actually makes mining quite a bit easier. As you can see me pull out a little bit, the light levels came back up, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here. It's just a little odd. Well, we're starting to make a little bit of progress. We've got ourselves a couple of stone tools and a little bit of stone we mined there, but we're actually going to have to slow down a little bit towards the end of this episode and collect some needed resources. We're going to need wood for crafting some of the torches and the wood part of tools. We're going to need resin for plastic, and actually what we're hitting right now, this archway kind of tree, gives us a lot of those kind of materials. These are always good for getting that kind of stuff. So we're just going to slow down and collect a couple things. And right now we do have an active quest, which is kind of like a side quest. It's not like a main story quest, and it's a self-fulfilling quest. We will die at some point, and that's basically what the quest wants us to do. Get beat up, and then we use our revival shot to come back up, and then we'll go ahead and be able to turn that one in. But we'll turn that one in a little bit later, as we don't need to like purposefully die quite yet, and it doesn't really give us anything big, so it's not a big deal. We do need to pick up the main story quest from the doctor. I'll probably do that at the very end of this episode, and then we'll move on to the next episode, searching for survivors, because essentially that is what we're trying to do in the beginning stages of this game. So as you can see, I got a bunch of wood, a little bit of resin, and nothing else. Some plant fibers would have been nice, but not a huge deal. So I'm going to go ahead and craft my stone sword, and that actually does quite a bit more damage than the wooden sword. So I'd be able to maybe two-shot these guys. We'll go ahead and test it out real quick here. And whoops, you know, what I should not have done is I shouldn't have been pressing the forward key or W key when I swung it, because you do this kind of lunge forward attack, and now this creature is off and running, and I really kind of wanted it for its meat. So now we're kind of in the situation where I'm going to be chasing it down, and I'm going much further than I actually want to. I guess I'll try to make up for it backtracking by maybe grabbing a couple of plants. But yeah, now, well, he's starting to slow down a little bit. I almost gave up, but let's go ahead and grab him. So we hit him once. I think it'll take maybe 3 shots. 2, 3, yeah. So as soon as we get some better tools or better weapons, we'll be able to take those guys out a little quicker. Of course, the bigger creatures, they take a heck of a walloping, so we'll definitely need some better stuff for them. But for the smaller creatures, if we can 1 or 2 shot them, it actually makes going after them worthwhile, because again, meat is the currency, and we're going to need a lot of it to buy certain things like scripts or armor and stuff that we're going to need along our adventures. It is getting late, and we're going to have to sleep, because I'm not really in any kind of position to take on those crab, spider, glow-in-the-dark eye thingamabobbers. They're scary. I'll point them out when we see them, but we're actually not going to be taking those guys on right now. So I guess what I'll do is I will pick up the next quest, which should be sending us out in the great world of Maria to go and... Grady is incorrectly positioned on that healing bed. I wonder if that's definitely a bug. So that's interesting. One of the things I actually forgot to do was grab some of the stuff out of the centralized crate there. There was some bandages and some food. That would have saved me some time, actually.
Did you get hurt or something? I'm not sure. I think Chen went west to a crater, while Sly went north towards some big tree. You might want to check on them, since it looks like you have nothing better to do. If you go bring them both back, I'll teach you how to make a med pack. Alright. I've highlighted the 2 locations on the map. Don't die out there and hurry back.
Okay, so we've picked up our main story quest.
That all?
That's all. And now we are going to sleep to pretty much wrap things up for this episode, but I'm going to try to craft a couple more of the tools that I need. I don't really need the shovel, but I went ahead and made it anyways. It also allows me to sell back some of these things. That actually makes some money, so when I upgrade new armor or upgrade new tools, I can sell them back to one of the NPCs, and that it's another way to save a little bit of money here. Alright, so let's go ahead and find a safe place to sleep. I like to go inside of the buildings. I actually kind of wish you could craft these tents. That would be kind of a nice touch, especially for your colony or base. But unfortunately you cannot. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and sleep for 12 hours, and then we're probably going to sleep for a little bit longer. But this is a nice touch. I like this. I like this. It definitely is a good thing for the immersion of the game. Let's see, what time is it? Let's sleep for just a little bit longer. And this tends to happen. Usually I like to get him to sleep by 1900 and then wake up at 9 or 10 in the morning, and there is plenty of light, and that's the way I like to roll in this game. But anyways, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.